Maybe something that. No, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Push you and pull
Look
you.
please to these pictures, look at carefully. You see here some types of force. For example, friction. Friction is a force. Gravity, you know, we learned. And magnetism also, it's a magnetic force. And there is upthrust force, we will also mention today. There are many different types of force. Okay, let's start. From your book, please open page 124. We will start from this page and we will continue. Okay, there are many different forces and generally forces invisible. We cannot see by our eyes, but we can feel it. And let's see, for example, when you sit on a chair, what will happen? You know, by gravity from up to down there is a force, but also there is another force against it. There are two different types of force here, two acting forces. The first one, gravity. There is upthrust force against the gravity, and these two forces make a balance and you don't move. Or earth, you know that earth pushing us up, and as gravity there is a force, but against the gravity, as you see, the pushing is called upthrust. It means there are two different forces. The first one, gravity, the second one, upthrust force. By these two different forces, we cannot fly, we cannot sing, we can stay on balance on earth. Okay? Look here. The surface of the earth pushing us up, and this pushing up is called upthrust force. Also, there is gravity force. This gravity force and upthrust force has a balance. This balance us on this planet. Any question about it? Also, in this one, two different force, as you see, from up to down gravity, from down to up against a force. This force, as you see, upthrust force, or we can say this is upward push of the chair. When these two different forces on balance, as you see, we don't fall down, we sit on this chair. Any question? Did you understand? It is clear. No, you can see these two different forces here. And let's continue to other forces. Now I'll mention about force of magnetism. What do you know about it? Can you see this magnetism by your eyes? What do you think? Can you see magnetism?
No.
You cannot see directly, but you can see by objects. For example, as you on the picture happening here, who will explain to us? Yes, Aram. What's happening in this picture?
it usually pulls the metal.
Yes, as you see, there is a force of magnetism. In this force of magnetism, there is an attraction. What kind of objects attracted? As you see,
Metal.
as you said. Okay, as you see, there is invisible force. This force of magnetism. What's happening here? There is an attraction, objects to the magnet. Cannot see the force of magnetism directly, but you can see their effects. As you see, metal objects will go to near the magnet by this magnetic force. Okay, it is clear. Yes, let's continue. Another force type here. What do you think? What's happening here? Yes, Fatima, can you say what's happening here? This man.
The trying to push or pull the thing in his hands.
Yes, try to do open this coil shape, but is it easy or difficult?
It's difficult.
What's the reason?
Because it's pulling it back together.
Yes, as you see, this man wants to open this coiled shape, but the spring pulls back. There is a force to the opposite direction. And as you see, this spring try to protect their shape, its shape. And also you can try it by elastic bands. Will be the same thing, the same way. If we try to open this coiled shape, it will go back because there is a force. We will pull, it will push. This is also force of pull. Any question about this type?
No.
Okay, I'm listening.
Math. Understands everything, but Alex, out of the lesson, Rahim is texting me saying that she wants to enter the meeting.
I couldn't hear. Please speak loudly and ask one more time.
I understand everything in the lesson, but I want to tell you something else. Yaqeen wants to enter the lesson, and she's been texting me like in.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I'll do. Yes, but I cannot see from participants.
No, she said like she tried to enter the old meeting and didn't enter her. So she told me, tell them.
Okay, okay, I understood. I'll try. Yes, thank you. Okay, let's continue to topic. After the force of pull, the next one, float or sink. Now look carefully please to this picture. Have you ever wondered why some objects can float, some objects cannot? For example, give me an example. Can a stone sink or
Yes.
stone? What do you think?
It will sink.
Okay, I came back. Okay, let's see. Yes, as you see in this picture, wait a minute. Yeah. Objects float if the force they push down with is the same as the water pushing back. It's mean two different forces. One of them to down, one of them to up, and if these two forces equal on balance, it can swim or float, we can say. Okay, and the object is pushing down because of the force of gravity. The pushing back is the up. Balance, it can swim. But what about stone? Why stone cannot float? What
It's
do you think?
heavy.
Yes, we can say gravity more than upthrust force. Let's see, you will understand better. You will understand now better. Let's do a small work with you. We will do an investigation and say me please objects can float or sink except stone of course.
Pencil.
Okay, pencil. What do you think? Pencil can swim or float? Sink or float, sorry. Material important, isn't it?
Maybe.
Okay, any other example, guys?
Book.
Book. Okay, as you see in this picture, there is some materials from metal and they sink. But there is some material from plastic and they can float. Now we will learn the reasons one by one. Okay, let's see. Look here. Imagine that you are pushing down a plastic bottle from as you see it down. What will happen? What do you think?
To fill with water.
Water push it back. There is a force. This force, upward force or upthrust force, we can say. You are pushing the bottle down, but water push it up. This is upward force, and this is normally we can say all forces normally invisible, but you can see the results, okay, or the effects. From effects or results, you can understand that there is a force there. Okay, let's see. Yes, look here. Heavy subjects also can float. We cannot say all heavy subjects must sink. It's not true, as you know. As you see, there is an oil tanker here, and as you see, 7,000 tons. 70,000 tons, and it's floats. It is very heavy, but as you see, it can swim. We cannot say heavy subjects must sink. It's not true. And what will happen? How we will understand if we'll sink or float? Let's see. What is floating? Floating is the result of balance. There are two different forces, as you know. Sorry. And can you see the screen? Sorry.
Yes.
Okay, good. If you see the screen, let's continue. There is a balance of the weight force and upward push. As you see, this is weight force from gravity because of gravity, and this is upward push. If they are on balance, it will float. This is the rule. But upward push less than gravity or weight, it will sink. This is the first rule. And we will mention about the rules of floating. To float, the weight force of objects must be balanced by the upward push. We saw on this picture. If they are unbalanced, it can float, but if upward push less than weight force, it will sink. And then, but this is important. Surface area important. Surface area. But only iron, not sheep. Can it float or sink? What do you think? This is, yes, this is a spatial to swim, we can say, to float, because suitable to swim. But if it is only material from iron, the same weight, it will sink, because surface area important. You know, upthrust force from surface area, let's mention about them. The amount of material and type of material important, because size of weight and the force from the size of weight affected by them. And the volume of object important, and also surface area important. If surface area large, it is good to float, okay? Because upthrust force from surface area. If surface area large, will be more upthrust force. Okay, let's see. Yes, we said that if the same matter, the same weight, like sheep, but only iron, what will happen? It will sink. Because, look here, you must recognize that changing the shape of objects doesn't change the weight. We said the same weight. It doesn't change. But it can you will understand on this example better. Let's turn back and explain how they float. Objects float if the force they push down with is the same as the water pushing back. And as you see, this upthrust force from the surface area, and as you see, there is a force from up, but against it there is another force. This is upthrust force, and if they are on balance, it can swim. If the shape changed, weight won't change. Weight will be stable, but volume will change. Okay, volume will change. Any question till here?
No.
Can you hear me?
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
You must know that if shape changed, but the same weight, volume change, and if volume change, it can swim or sink. Let's see. Yes, another example from your book. Okay. Sorry. Let's mention about this book. Let's see the first do you think here? What's happening here? Look at carefully to this book. There are two different forces on this book. The first one from up to down. Which force is this? Force from up to down on this book. What's the name of this force? Fatima? Can you hear me, Fatima? Let's open your... Are you sleeping? Yes, look here. This is red book. Two different forces. The first force from up to down. And this is the gravity. And another force against it. And two up. And it is up thrust force. Okay? Upward push, we can say. And here, this book on balance, not fall down. Why? Because gravity and upward force on balance. What's happening in the second one? This is same picture from your book. In the second one, this object falling. What happened? Why this book fall down? Let's see. Here, now forces are no longer balanced. Here, no balance. Okay, what's happening? Must be enough for someone may have pushed in the second picture, no balance. There is only gravity because of someone may have pushed or pulled it, and no upthrust force. Only gravity up to down because of them fall down. Any question, Aram?
No.
Okay.
Hi. Hi, Aram.